Thank you, Brenna. That was lovely. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. My name is Millie, and I am the CRE educator downstairs, and also I serve on the Chalice team. Unitarian Universalism is a religious tradition that values freedom in religious thought and journey. We uphold the unity of our interconnections, connections to each other, to all of life, and to the precious universe of which we are a part. We affirm the universality of love and hope as we journey together in community, and we welcome you, whoever you are, at this moment, and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. For those of you joining us online, hi, welcome, and if you're new, please check out our website, UUFayetteville.org, for more information. For those of you visiting us for the first time, you will find a visitor information card in the seat back in front of you, which is a line of words that I've always found amusing. Can somebody hold one of those up? One of that one. Thanks. Looks like that. We would love for you to fill one out so that we can get to know you and also get you on the email list where you will find lots of information about what we're doing here in our busy congregation. Later in the service, we'll have a time where you're... are we doing that today? Are we doing Joys and Concerns today? No, okay, we're not doing that today. Usually we have a time where you'll come forward and drop a stone in the water. We're not doing that today, so I invite you to come back on a day we are doing it because it's awesome. Today we're doing poems. You'll also find yellow cards on the seat back in front of you. Usually we take those up during Joys and Concerns, but today you can put them in an offertory basket. Yay, on the fly. If you're online, you can go ahead and write your joys and concerns in the things, but we're not going to have a time to read those today. If you have a need for hearing assistance, our AV Tech David can help you out. Children are always welcome in our service, but if you prefer, there is a staffed nursery available downstairs, and also our service is piped into the foyer, so you can go sit out there if you like. Please remember to silence your cell phones. If you have a cell phone, go ahead, get it out, look at it, and make sure that it's on silent. I will not be offended if you get it out now. Today is Poetry Sunday, and I am slated to read the first poem. This is The Bells by Edgar Allan Poe. A lot of people don't like this poem because they say it's repetitive or dark or other things. All throughout the service today, I would encourage you to sit and listen actively and to also be aware of your uncomfortability. What don't you like about something that someone's reading? Why? Figure that out. I will also note a historical point that during the time of Edgar Allan Poe, iron bells did not exist until the time of the Industrial Revolution. So there's a point. Hear the sledges with the bells, silver bells. What a world of merriment their melody foretells, how they tinkle, tinkle, tinkle in the icy air of night, while the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystalline delight. Keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the tintinnabulation that so musically swells from the bells, 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 from the jingling and the tinkling of the bells. Hear the mellow wedding bells, golden bells. What a world of happiness their harmony foretells. Through the balmy air of night, how they ring out their delight from the molten golden notes and all in tune. What a liquid ditty floats to the turtle dove that listens while she gloats on the moon. Oh, from out the sounding cells, what a gush of euphony voluminously wells. How it swells, how it dwells on the future, how it tells of the rapture that impels to the swinging and the ringing of the bells, 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 of the bells, 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 to the rhyming and the chiming of the bells. Hear the loud alarum bells, brazen bells. What a tale of terror now their turbulency tells in the startled ear of night. How they scream out their affright, too much horrified to speak. They can only shriek, shriek out of tune in a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, in a mad expostulation with the deaf and frantic fire, leaping higher, higher, higher with a desperate desire and a resolute endeavor, now to sit or never by the side of the pale-faced moon. Oh, the bells, bells, bells. What a tale of terror tells, of despair, how they clang and clash and roar. What a horror they outpour on the bosom of the palpitating air. Yet the ear, it fully knows, by the twanging and the clanging, how the danger ebbs and flows. The ear distinctly tells, in the jangling and the wrangling, how the danger sinks and swells by the sinking and the swelling in the anger of the bells, of the bells, of the bells, 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 in the clamor and the clangor of the bells. Hear the tolling of the bells, iron bells. What a world of solemn thought their monody compels. In the silence of the night, how we shiver with affright at the melancholy menace of their tone. For every sound that floats from the rust within their throats is a groan. And the people, the people, they that dwell up in the steeple all alone, and who tolling in that muffled monotone, feel a glory in so rolling on the human heart a stone. They are neither man nor woman. They are neither brute nor human. They are ghouls, and their king it is who tolls, and he rolls a paean from the bells, and his merry bosom swells with the paean of the bells, and he dances and he yells, keeping time, in a sort of runic rhyme to the paean of the bells, keeping time, in a sort of runic rhyme to the throbbing of the bells, bells, to the sobbing of the bells, keeping time, as he knells, in a happy runic rhyme to the tolling of the bells. Of the bells, to the tolling of the bells, and the rolling of the bells, bells, to the moaning and the groaning of the bells. Thank you. Mark is going to light our chalice.
Good morning. I'm Mark, and please join me in the lighting of the words of our chalice. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is his prayer, to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and truth, and to help one another. Thus do we covenant together. Okay, because this is a short one, I wanted to add a word about the poet. Back in the early 70s, Carl Kopp was a former teacher and good friend of mine, bought cheap land north of Clarksville in the Ozark Hills. I was on the West Coast in my 20s at the time. He said, come on, check this place out, help me work it. The rest is history between me and Arkansas. Shortly after, we all lived up in the hills with our wives under what Carl called the big sky, on the edge of the western frontier where dreams grow tall. He was a writer, I was a practicing photographer, and we came out with this short volume of mountain poetry, Yarborough Mountain, sort of a tribute to the mountain and the hardworking or authentic mountain folk who worked and loved the mountain. Many years later, when I was teaching here in the district, I took a workshop with about Arkansas writers by, I'll bet someone knows the name, Bob Cochran, English at the U of A. I know David Edwards did. And I showed him the cop's work. He immediately recognized his talent and insisted that I donate it to the U of A. So I guess it sits up yonder in special editions at Mullins. No sudden name changes on that. Thank you. Deer by Carl Kopp. How they fade, dissolve into deeper woods than these I own and clatter in. Not quite true, for I go slowly with a stick for snakes through the leaf mold down the old logging road to the spring. But how they dissolve, move into mystery. Our neighbors always share their venison cooked in rooms thick with unwashed men, tobacco spit, and soft southern boasting, like jonquils set by some woman's hands deep in my woods, among fallen stones by the ancient spring, unmentioned in our title deed. They return. With the flirt of their tail, they are gone. Thank you.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Ooh, your daddy's rich and your mama's so good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you gonna rise up singing la-di-da-da, la-di-da. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky so high, but till that morning, there ain't nothing that can harm you. With daddy and mama standing, ooh, they're standing by. Summertime and the living is so easy. Fish are jumping, yeah, and the cotton is high. It's so high right up to the sky. I say your daddy's rich and your mama's so good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Don't you cry. Don't you cry. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning. Welcome to our annual service dedicated to poetry and song. Before we get started, I want to thank you for last Sunday. Thank you. Thank you for last Sunday. That installation service was a huge foundational moment in my life. And I'll never be the same. And I could talk about it for a long time. Gary's service beforehand, the installation, I have many reflections and continue to have revelations and reflections on it. Thanks to David, I've been able to watch it. I was a little, maybe a little checked out in the actual moment of it, maybe a little, but I'm able to take it in now and really digest the words offered to me by so many of you, a million, billion thank yous. And we have another incredible service today. Before I go on with that, I just want to mention that, of course, that piece is my interpretation of George Gershwin's Summertime, and it is a piece that I don't necessarily understand as a white person. I am only borrowing the beauty of that piece and offering in great thanksgiving for the ability to sing it. So, we have another incredible service today. And this is one of my favorite services of the year, and that's why I always have it in April, which is my birthday month. Poetry and song are beautiful topics for a Unitarian Universalist service. In our tradition, we often speak of sources, the sources of our faith, and you can find a list of those in our great hymnal, which is the closest thing we have to a sacred text. If you go to the first hymn and turn back a page, you can see all of our sources. The first source of our living tradition is the transcendent wisdom and prophecy proclaimed in holy words and deeds of prophetic people. What does that mean? It means really cool, spiritual people said really wise and cool spiritual things. And poetry and music are the primary languages of that prophecy, of that transcendent wisdom that is spoken of. Humans have 5 senses to navigate the physical world, and we have the arts to navigate the spiritual world. Church work and music are often interchangeable to me, and it's because music is a language that speaks to spirit. The concept of this service can be whittled down to a singular idea. Music and poetry don't just describe life. Music and poetry do not just describe life. They feel like life. Music and poetry feels like life. For instance, a poem about grief does not give you a definition of grief. It sits in the room with you. As we have a set of principles that we love, and we can relate this idea to our third principle, the acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth. Dear ones, for many of us, I would dare say for all of us, the arts are mirrors and windows that allow that growth to happen. Oliver, would you like to offer us one of your original songs?
This is a song that came from about a 2-hour block of time that I was sitting on the couch giving personification to the weather. Because our planet continues to suffer from the actions of political people. So I figured I was going to share this one, even though it's not perfect, because I need to learn how to be confident even when I haven't polished something. Hey, devil man, can I have my soul back? I don't remember leaving it up for grabs on the train tracks. Hey, devil man, can I have the cold back? It's been a long summer, I might drift to eternal slumber. I will bring back the rain, and I will bring back the moon. Hey, midnight woman, can I have the stars back? I need the lights to shine before the end of my time. Hey, midnight woman, can I have the heat back? It's been a long winter, freezing up, I can't feel my fingers. I will bring back the snow, and I will bring back the fire. Hey, polluted creature, can I have the lake back? I can't see the bottom, unclean and murky, causing the drama. Hey, polluted creature, can I have the air back? I cannot breathe without choking or catching diseases. I will bring back the water, and I will bring back the sky. Hey, Mr. President, can we have our home back? In the land of the free, we don't have the right to be. Hey, Mr. President, can we have our rights back? Your position's static, I don't see you being democratic. I will bring back the freedom, and I will bring back the peace, and I will bring back the music, and I will bring back the rhythm, and I will bring back the love.
Wow. That's a hard act to follow. And I don't have anything that I created, but I have a poem that was one of Amanda Gorman's poems, and I think everybody remembers her beautiful presentation at President Biden's inauguration. And this poem, I did a little research on it and found out that she wrote this right at the beginning of COVID. So keep that in mind, but I want you to listen from today, because I believe that what we're enduring right now is just as bad as COVID was, and there's so many people that are just as fearful, but you're going to hear that she was very uplifting about it. with the big print. We thought we'd awaken to a world in mourning, heavy clouds crowding, a society storming. But there's something different on this golden morning, something magical in the sunlight, wide and warming. We see a dad with a stroller taking a jog. Across the street, a bright-eyed girl chases her dog. A grandma on a porch fingers her rosary. She grins as her young neighbor brings her groceries. While we might feel small, separate, and all alone, our people have never been more closely tethered. The question isn't if we will weather this unknown, but how we will weather this unknown together. So on this meaningful morn, we mourn and we mend. Like light, we won't be broken even when we bend. As one, we will defeat both despair and disease. We stand with healthcare heroes and all employees, with families, libraries, schools, waiters, artists, businesses, restaurants, and hospitals hit hardest. We ignite not in the light, but in the lack thereof, for it is in loss that we truly learn to love. In this chaos, we will discover clarity. In suffering, we must find solidarity. For it's our grief that gives us our gratitude, shows us how to find hope if we ever lose it. So ensure that this ache wasn't endured in vain. Do not ignore the pain, give it purpose, use it. Read children's books, dance to DJ music. Know that this distance will make our hearts grow fonder. From a wave of woes, our world will emerge stronger. We'll observe how the burdens braved by humankind are also the moments that we make us humans kind. Let every dawn find us courageous, brought closer, heeding the light before the fight is over. When this ends, we'll smile sweetly, finally seeing in testing times we became the best of beings.
All rise as you are able, and let's sing our opening hymn, which comes from the poet William Blake and the music from Edvard Grieg, who was a UU, two of my favorite artists for making us feel. Now that you know it, one more time. You may be seated.
I'd like to begin with an apology to my college poetry professor, as I'm committing one of the greatest sins known to man, reading a poem on my phone. This one is called If Only We Had Taller Been by one of my favorite literature voices out there, Ray Bradbury. an imperfect man, but an imagination that is still so key to science fiction, although he would hate that. He would call himself more of a Midwestern surrealist, but awesome guy. He read this particular piece to a group of NASA scientists before one of the first probes, and forgive me, I don't know the name, was launched onto Mars to take some of the first ever images of the planet. And this is what he read to that room of people. The fence we walked between the years did balance us serene. It was a place half in the sky where, in the green of leaf and promising of peach, we'd reach our hand to touch and almost touch the sky. If we could reach and touch, we said, 'twould teach us not to, never to, be dead. We ached and almost touched that stuff. Our reach was never quite enough. If only we had taller been and touched God's cuff, his hem, we would not have to go with them who've gone before, who, short as us, stood tall as they could stand, and hoped by stretching tall that they might keep their land, their home, their hearth, their flesh and soul. But they, like us, were standing in a hole. Oh, Thomas, will a race one day stand really tall across the void, across the universe and all? And measured out with rocket fire, at last put Adam's finger forth, as on the Sistine ceiling, and God's hand come down the other way to measure man and find him good and gift him with forever's day? I work for that. Short man, large dream, I send my rockets forth between my ears, hoping an inch of good is worth a pound of years, aching to hear a voice cry back along the universal mall, we've reached Alpha Centauri, we're tall, oh God, we're tall. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. You might find this an odd title, but I loved it from the instant that I saw it. How many of us can relate to that formaldehyde smell that we had in biology classes? This is a poem by Renee Nicole Good, whom, as you all well know, was tragically murdered by an ICE agent. What you do not know is that she had lots of promise that was never fulfilled. She received a prize from the Academy of American Poets for this poem when she was only an undergraduate. So I share this with you. I want back my rocking chairs, solipsis sunsets, and coastal jungle sounds that are tursets from cicadas and pentameter from the hairy legs of cockroaches. I've donated Bibles to thrift stores, mashed them in plastic trash bags, with an acidic Himalayan salt lamp. The post-baptism Bibles, the ones plucked from street corners from the meaty hands of the zealots, the dumbed-down, easy-to-read, parasitic kind. Remember more the slick rubber smell of high-gloss biology textbook pictures. They burned the hairs inside my nostrils, and salt and ink that rubbed off on my palms. Under clippings of the moon at 2:45 a.m., I study and repeat ribosome, endoplasmic, stamen, lactic acid at the IHOP on the corner of Powers and Stetson Hills. I repeated and scribbled until it picked its way and stagnated somewhere I can't find anymore. Maybe my gut, maybe in between my pancreas and large intestine is the piddly brook of my soul. It's the ruler by which I reduce all things now, hard edge and splintering, from knowledge that used to sit, a cloth against a fevered forehead. Can I let them both be? This fickle faith and this college science that heckles from the back of the classroom. Now I can't believe that the Bible and Quran and the Bhagavad Gita are sliding long hairs behind my ear, like Mom used to. As I lost my place. So I wanted to make sure to do that so you would understand it. And exhaling from their mouths, make room for wonder. All my understanding dribbles down the chin and onto the chest and is summarized as, life is merely two ovum and sperm, and where those two meet, and how often and how well, and what dies there.
Y'all hear me? Hear the guitar? Okay. Just kidding. I could play. Thanks. I'm Lane. I'm really happy to be here, getting to know all of you. This is a cool place. I've been here 3 times, and this is a wonderful community. Y'all are doing it right. So, there's been a lot of songs written, and this is one of them. It's called Trickle On Up. You should give all your dollars to me, trickle on up. I swear it ain't no pyramid scheme to trickle on up. Grab your wallet and your pen key. In this life deserving nothing for free. I promise if you give it to me, it'll trickle on up. Take those loans for that art degree, trickle on up. That tenure track say rare breed, trickle on up. They told my parents to tell me I can be anything that my mind sees. I didn't count on probability. Trickle on up. Let's see if my hands will work. Halfway works. False promises and half-truths, bleeding us for anything you want to do, doing everything but serving me and you. Let's kick them out, we'll scream and shout that we demand much better from you. We grew up learning art, not done yet. We grew up learning. Let me finish. We grew up learning our land is free and freedom's enough. Unless you're native, black, Hispanic, or queer, then pack up your stuff. The only only problem is getting to be as equal as a guy that looks like me. You gotta cut him off a slice of liberty and trickle on up. One more. Ignore your rights, just give them to me. Give them on up. I'll have you work until you're 93 to pay for your stuff. They got us living on a collar and leash. Hold us down with one hand while the other sips tea. What will it take for the people to see? It trickles on up. Now clap.
Talk about hard acts to follow. Well, I've been asked recently, who is Joanna Macy? Last week when the incredible minister said, call out some names that have inspired you over the, I'm like, Joanna Macy, you know, and people were like, who's Joanna Macy? And I was like, I realized I didn't really have my elevator speech ready, so I'm like, I'm trying to, you know, get it together today. But, you know, Joanna Macy, you know, she may not have been as well known as Jane Goodall. They passed physically in the same year last year in their 90s. But she was well known among people who follow eco-psychology and deep ecology. You know, she was a philosopher, and she also did a lot of work for social justice, and she was an environmental activist. And she also really influenced the field of eco-psychology. And there's an organization called the Climate Psychology Alliance of North America. And her work really contributed a lot to the development of climate cafes, a place where people can express their emotions about climate change, just to name some things. And she really wasn't known as a poet. She was an author. She wrote some really incredible books. But this is a poem that she wrote. One more thing, she's especially known for an approach to helping humans connect to nature again, called The Work That Reconnects, and to each other. Yeah. So this is called From the Council of All Beings. We hear you, fellow creatures. We know we are wrecking the world, and we are afraid. What we have unleashed has such momentum now, we don't know how to turn it around. Don't leave us alone. We need your help. You need us too, for your own survival. Are there powers there that you can share with us? I, lichen, work slowly. Very slowly. Time is my friend. This is what I give you, patience for the long haul and perseverance. It is a dark time. As deep diving trout, I offer you fearlessness of the dark. I, lion, give you my roar, the voice to speak out and be heard. I am caterpillar. The leaves I eat taste bitter now, but dimly I sense a great change is coming. What I offer you, humans, is my willingness to dissolve and transform. I do that without knowing what the end result will be. So I share with you my courage, too. Joanna Macy.
Good morning, friends. Good morning. I'm going to share with you a poem by Joy Harjo. She is an internationally renowned performer and writer of the Muskogee Nation. She served 3 terms as the 23rd Poet Laureate of the United States. She could also be called one of the most UU poets. For calling the spirit back from wandering the earth and its human feet. Put down that bag of potato chips. That white bread, that bottle of pop. She's from Oklahoma. Turn off that cell phone, computer, and remote control. Open the door and then close it behind you. Take a breath offered by friendly winds. They travel the earth, gathering essences of plants to clean, and give it back with gratitude. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift to fly to the stars' ears and back. Acknowledge this earth, who has cared for you since you were a dream, planting yourself precisely within your parents' desire. Let your moccasin feet take you to the encampment of the guardians who have known you before time, who will be there after time. They sit before the fire that has been there without time. Let the earth stabilize your post-colonial insecure jitters. Be respectful of the small insects, birds, and animal people who accompany you. Ask their forgiveness for the harm we humans have brought down upon them. Don't worry. The heart knows the way. Though there may be high-rises, interstates, checkpoints, armed soldiers, massacres, wars, and those who will despise you because they despise themselves. The journey might take you a few hours, a day, a year, a few hundred years, 1,000, or even more. Watch your mind. Without training, it might run away and leave your heart for the immense human feast set by the thieves of time. Do not hold regrets. When you find your way to the circle, to the fire kept burning by the keepers of your soul, you'll be welcomed. You must clean yourself with cedar, sage, or other healing plant. Cut the ties you have to failure and shame. Let go of the pain you're holding in your mind, your shoulders, your heart, all the way to your feet. Let go of the pain of your ancestors to make way for those who are heading our direction. Ask for forgiveness. Call upon the help of those who love you. These helpers take many forms: animal, element, bird, angel, saint, stone, or ancestor. Call your spirit back. It may be caught in corners, in creases of shame, judgment, or human abuse. You must call in a way that your spirit will want to return. Speak to it as you would a beloved child. Welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It may return in pieces, in tatters. Gather them together. They'll be happy to be found after being lost for so long. Your spirit will need to sleep a while after it is bathed and given clean clothes. And now you can have a party. Invite everyone you know who loves and supports you. Keep room for those who have no place else to go. Make a giveaway. And remember, keep the speeches short. Then you must do this. Help the next person to find their way through the dark. Thank you. This is a place of memory and hope, of visions and dreams. We are now the keepers of this memory, the foundation we stand on. We're now the hands and hearts of our dream for the future. An offering will be taken to help fulfill our vision and honor the legacy we share.
My contribution to poetry today is to play a piece by Chopin, who's sometimes called the poet of the piano. I wanted to tell you that he died of TB when he was 39 years old. He was very close to his family, his parents and 3 sisters. He lost one of his sisters to TB when she was 14. And in my imagination, he composed this short prelude. It just sounds like grief to me. So I think about that loss of his sister.
For those of you that are new, see why I love this service so much? It's great. We live most of our lives in the literal. We balance checkbooks, follow GPS directions, and read news alerts. This is the language of survival. But Unitarian Universalism invites us to move beyond survival into thriving in the world around us, delighting in our deep, rich connection with the spirit of life and of all things. The 19th century transcendentalists, our UU ancestors like Emerson and Thoreau, believed that the divine wasn't locked in an old book, but it was vibrating in the present moment. They knew that a logic-only life is a house with no windows, no mirrors. You can't see the clarity of the world in a logic-only life. Poetry and music and the arts are the windows and the mirrors. They frame our experience and allow us to see the more that lies beyond the now. Often we walk through the world wearing a mask of fine. We're fine. The day is fine. Work is fine. But the literal world doesn't always give us a way to talk about the not fine. The secret grief, the quiet yearning, or the shimmering moments that we're just too embarrassed to share. Art is the mirror that reflects our internal reality back to us. When you hear a lyric that perfectly captures your loneliness, or you see a painting that mirrors your internal chaos, friends, something holy happens. It's called validation. You realize that you're not an island. The artist has reached into the private room of your heart and said, yo, I've been there too. You are not alone. You are not alone. For this is the first step of the first principle, that inherent worth and dignity of every person. To have one's inner life mirrored in a poem or a song is to have one's existence affirmed. It is the art saying your story is worth being told. And it is. So that's the mirror. And while the mirror provides comfort, the window provides the challenge. If we only ever look in mirrors, our faith becomes a hall of reflections. Small, maybe a little narcissistic. Art is the window that allows us to look into a life that we've never lived. A white person reading a poem by Maya Angelou isn't looking in a mirror. No. They are looking through a window into the lived experience of black womanhood. A person who has never known poverty hears a protest song and for 3 minutes feels that ache. The window is where empathy is born. We cannot truly accept one another if we haven't looked through the window of another's joy and pain. The literal world tells us that those people are different from us. But the window of the arts reveals that the other has a heartbeat just as rhythmic as ours. A grief just as heavy, a dream just as fragile as ours. The deepest spiritual click happens when the window and the mirror merge. And you look through a window. She told you to turn that off. I mean, at least it's Mozart, Jesus. Okay, all right. I'm messing with you, brother. Okay. The deepest spiritual click happens when the window and the mirror merge. You look through a window at someone who is supposedly other, someone of a different generation, someone of a different faith, maybe someone from a different country, different religion, different whatever. And suddenly you see your own reflection in their eyes. You realize that the interconnected web that we talk about so frequently isn't just a nice idea. Oh no. It's a biological and spiritual fact. The window of their story becomes a mirror of our shared humanity. And in this moment, the us versus them narrative dies. When we sing a hymn from a different culture, we aren't just borrowing a tune. We are standing at the window until we see ourselves in the melody. Standing at the window until we can feel them through the rhythm. We are realizing, this is important, that while the frames of our windows are different, the light coming through them is the same. Thank you. I'd like to invite Ralph up.
I managed to find a poetry book that I was told to buy for a course back in 1975. And as you can see, it's seen better days. It's by Gary Snyder. He was one of the beat poets of the 50s and 60s. He was very much into nature and really spoke to me at that point in my life. He spent a lot of time just being out in nature and just feeling and just writing his thoughts on what he felt at the time. Here's one about a little meditation he had by Fraser Creek Falls. Standing up, unlifted, folded rock, lifting out and down. The creek falls to a far valley. Hills beyond that, facing, half-forested, dry, clear sky. Strong wind and the steep, glittering needle clusters of the pine. Their brown, round trunk bodies, straight, still, rustling, trembling limbs and twigs. Listen. This living, flowing land is all there is, forever. We are it. It sings through us. We can live on this earth without clothes or tools.
Hopefully my ukulele is still in tune, so bear with me. Yeah, nice, okay. This song is Sunday Morning by Tyler Motzenbacher. I found it as I was exploring or re-exploring the Christian faith and was looking for, that feeling that you get when you're, I grew up Pentecostal, that feeling that you get when you're listening to praise and worship songs and you just kind of swell. And then I learned that it's all manufactured. Yeah, and this song it's the opposite of that, and he's a Christian writer, but he talks about, doubt and struggling with religious trauma. And so I'll do my best to play it well. I chose all the right songs, played all the right chords, till the kids who still weren't singing praised the Lord. And the pastor yelled about faith and hell, and I soundtracked his words for effect. And everyone cried and cried and cried. Well, everyone cried and cried and cried. and then we played kickball. Well, is God just a feeling you can use at your will? Beat your heart inside the lovin', pull the trigger when you kill. Your promise of a new life, it read closer to a warning. So I don't blame anyone for passing what gets sold on Sunday morning. On Sunday morning. Adrian sighed aloud. She closed the door, poured a highball of Jameson, and opened her eyes some more. Asked, did the Holy Spirit move? I used to do those drugs too, but you can only come down that hard so often. And I insisted we aren't all that way. And I know he listens when I pray. And then we thought about Friedrich Nietzsche. Well, is God just a feeling I can use at my will? Like Elijah and his ravens, Gideon in the hills. That promise of a new life, it read closer to a warning. So I don't blame anyone for passing what gets sold on Sunday morning. On Sunday morning. She woke at dawn, put a thin dress on. Then we walked to St. Joseph's Cathedral. She made a cross with her wrists, said, you know what I miss? Being lost, then being found. And we danced singing Gold Dust Woman, making promises I knew I shouldn't. She said, stop trying to rescue me, 'cause I need more than a good feeling. That's what you're offering on Sunday morning. On Sunday morning. On Sunday morning.
Wow, that is a tough act to follow. My name is Jacob Hook. I will be delivering a poem called The Man Who Can by Edgar A. Guest. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. This poem was written in 1916, so a couple of the words in the poem tend to be very gendered, so I tweaked them a little bit just to make them more inclusive. I resonate with this poem because I feel like a lot of us during this time, we feel like we're being bombarded by awful things, and in a time where we feel like we can't, I feel like Edgar is here to remind us that we can. Can't is the worst word that's written or spoken, doing more harm here than slander and lies. On it is many a strong spirit broken, and with it many a good purpose dies. It springs from the lips of the thoughtless each morning, and robs us of courage we need through the day. It rings in our ears like a timely sent warning, and laughs when we falter and fall by the way. Can't is the father of feeble endeavor, the parent of terror and half-hearted work. It weakens the efforts of artisans clever, and makes of the toiler an indolent shirk. It poisons the soil of the person with a vision. It stifles in infancy many a plan. It greets honest toiling with open derision and mocks at the hopes and the dreams of a man. Can't is a word none should speak without blushing. To utter it should be a symbol of shame. Ambition and courage it daily is crushing. It blights a person's purpose and shortens their aim. Despise it with all of your hatred of error. Refuse it the lodgment it seeks in your brain. Arm against it as a creature of terror, and all that you dream of someday you shall gain. Can't is the word that is a foe to ambition, an enemy ambushed to shatter your will. Its prey is forever the person with a mission, and bows but to courage and patience and skill. Hate it with hatred that's deep and undying. For once it is welcome, 'twill break any man. Whatever the goal you are seeking, keep trying, and answer this demon by saying, I can.
Hello. I wrote this last Sunday, so okay. My Owner by Adam Johnson. I'd like to thank my owner, its people, and the dadhood. I know my owner was first from the father of clear words and personal stories. I started putting on my owner when I was 10, so there isn't a clear anywhere of where my human flesh begins and my owner ends. My owner is heaven, and some days it takes everything in me to act like I'm not carrying large loads of pain and defensiveness. But I also know that my owner has saved my life, and if it didn't exist, I don't think I'd still be existing. There are people in my life who had never sense enough to set the owner down, and I allow myself the opportunity to live in person. I think we all had some kind of owner, because it comes with this journey we call life. My hope for everyone, every single one of us, is that we make time often to take us our owner, breathe, and be seen in a beautiful world around us.
Our final hymn, Annette, if you would like to read the Roadless.
I've been really touched today by each of you who have read, and I want to thank you very much. I'd like you to close your eyes. And as I'm reading this poem, I want you to think of yourself being there in the middle of it, because it's about choices, not good ones and bad ones. It's about choices, and we face them all the time, every day of the week. So close your eyes and see yourself. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Good morning. Timothy Hernandez is a current contemporary author, poet, and professor at UTEP El Paso. And his work is coming to prominence in these times because of the immigration issues. He has become a friend of mine since 2011 as we were both researching a Woody Guthrie song. The shape of my gratitude. It doesn't look like it, I know, but it's true. Sometimes a blessing settles heavy on the heart, and your cheekbones beg to rest in their natural position. You cannot see it, but I am bowing inside my skull. Sometimes standing in grace looks like emptiness. Same as how peace disguises itself as boredom. They tell me color is just an illusion of light. So many things I'll never get to the bottom of. So many names for the range of human emotion. But in this moment, trust me, there are just no words. Most of the time, silence really is the only poem. Please join me now in saying words on the screen as I extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame.
But not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you, Diane. Apologies that we've gone over a little bit today, but it's been worth it. I hope it's been worth it to you. Such a beautiful service. I'm only going to take a couple of moments for announcements. Did somebody say something? Whose birthday?
It's worth it.
It's worth it. Oh, okay, yes. Did you say birthday? To close, I'd like to read a spoken word piece that Suj and I wrote together a long time ago. It's called Full, Loved, Enough. Full, loved, enough. Full, loved, enough. Are you breathing today? Are you centered and okay? Loving prana like you wanna, it's the natural way. Sibling, look at your curves, never let me hear you say how I wish this ugly piece of me would melt away. We're down with the booty, down with the breast, but we hating on the belly and we never get to rest. I fight it too every day. I forget to breathe, turn away from the mirror and the strength I see, but I come back around like a pop song. And I see the whole picture, ain't nothing wrong. There's more than one healthy shape in this world, and if you're good to yourself, it's all good, y'all. Full, loved, enough. Full, loved, enough. Are you breathing today? Are you centered and okay? Loving prana like you wanna, it's the natural way. Sibling, look at your heart, got it grow and never fear. You are golden even when they make you wanna disappear. I read it loud and clear. The writing's on the wall, and every single day we make the tough call to fight the pressure towards perfection over healing breath. Give ourselves an inch and we'll be dieted to death. You can run, but you cannot hide from what's true. The only one you have to answer to is you. Love your whole self, and I know that it's tough. My wish for you is that you find that you are full loved enough. Full loved enough. Have you eaten today? Are you centered and okay? Loving prana like you gotta. It's the natural way, sibling. Remember this when you're walking tall. Some of the greatest works of art were never finished at all. You got to change if you're going to grow. And the lines on your face, they're going to start to show. But they're the map to your wisdom and what all ancestors know. Love your inside, your outside, your downside, your upside. You got to love yourself right before anybody else can. Teach it to your family. Work it in your lesson plan. We forget that we're blessed. We forgo happiness. We're going to choose to be blessed. We're going to take happiness. Choose to be blessed. Stand up for your happiness because you're full loved enough. Full loved enough. Have you loved yourself today? Are you centered and okay? Loving prana like you gotta. It's the natural way, sibling. Shout it from the rooftops and across all the lands. Let all peoples hear you and grab a loved one's hand. For when we stand together, the message is so clear. Because we choose love, not fear. That's right. We choose love, not fear. When we say, hail me, full of grace every day. I'm an Amazon warrior princess and blessed in so many ways. You put your hands on your hips and give your curves some gratitude. Shoulders back, chin up with a loving attitude. I am brilliant. I am strong. I'm perfect. I belong. You are brilliant. You are strong. You are perfect. You belong. We are brilliant. We are strong. We are perfect. We belong. And we're full loved enough. We're full loved enough. Dear ones, this week, please listen to some music. Please read some poetry. Please look at some art. And as you leave this service, my hope is that you know and you believe that you are full loved enough. Thank you.
Okay, so sorry. I'm sorry, y'all, but I just want everybody to know that today is the Interfaith Climate Alliance tree giveaway. So if you ordered trees, they're here. So we can give them out to you out at the Shermer Meditation Garden, if you want to, and find myself or Dinah for your trees. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all. Go in peace.